Hey guys, going to talk about the Preacher Season 1 finale, call and response. Full spoilers follow, so if you haven't seen Preacher Season 1 finale, you've been warned. All right, when they went into Preacher Season 1, the producers said a lot. They were treating it almost like a prequel to the comic books. Not literally, because it's not the same continuity, but they were showing stuff we never saw in the comics. Specifically, Jesse has a preacher, and this finale really hammered that home. I mean, the way it ended was the beginning of the comic book, with Jesse, Cassidy, and Tulip sitting in that diner, the fact that they went on the road finally together. That was really exciting for me as a comic book fan, the fact that, okay, this is the fully formed sort of preacher team, as you know it in the comic book. Off they go. It did make me look back and wonder, did we need 10 episodes of setup? I don't know. I almost feel like a shorter season might have been better, maybe something like 6 episodes. But this was a really good finale. There was a lot of good stuff in it. Cassidy in the jail cell dealing with Sheriff Root, and kind of the fact that now he knew that he was a vampire was excellent. The flashbacks were really good because we finally got context. Early in the season, it was hard to sort of go with Tulip constantly trying to get Jesse to go back to a life of crime with her. Even after we knew she wanted revenge, it still didn't feel like enough. Knowing now that they lost their baby, that this is the man they blame for that, it actually helped those early episodes a lot more to understand where she was coming from. And I appreciated that they're on a redemptive path. They didn't kill Carlos, but they beat the hell out of him. I mean, they beat him almost to death, and that seems like the right amount of redemption right now in the story, and it felt very Preacher that that's what they would do. And then the big calling God scene. I wonder what some people will think of it. I mean, it was big, it was out there, this sort of goofy looking depiction of the video screen of God. If it had been real, I still think it would have worked within this show and the strangeness of this show. Of course, it turned out not to really be God and set up the whole God is missing plot line, again, from the comics. So I think it works for everyone. If you thought that was goofy and couldn't go with it, you still had a reason for it being goofy by the end of it. Lastly, the town being destroyed. I can't believe they're done with all those characters, right? So I hope that they can figure out a way to have some people survive without making it ridiculous that everyone important had left town beforehand. But Odin, you don't have Jackie Earle Haley come in and then you kind of write him off camera like that. There's got to be more with him. Like I said, Sheriff Root had such a big storyline here, finding out Cassidy's a vampire, and the fact that he is still looking for Eugene. It seems like those two characters specifically, I think, will be back. Maybe Emily, that could go either way. And then Donnie and Betsy, it almost felt like it's time for them to be done because it was kind of fun closure that they were helping Jesse so much. So maybe they'll be the known victims, but we'll see. Overall though, yeah, really like this finale. It did sort of, put a spotlight on the fact that this was a slower season than some people may have liked. It didn't bother me as much, but I still thought it could have been a little more truncated. But I'm excited to see where season 2 goes now that they're much more specifically are into the comic book, and Saint of Killer is there, he's after them, so that's really cool. I'm giving it an 8.8. You can read my full review on IGN.com, and for plenty more on Preacher, keep it here at IGN.